This may look like a real bathroom, but it's actually not. This isn't a real mirror either. See, this is just a set that I built in my kitchen. Hey, and welcome to the channel. My name is Ryan McDowell. The channel is The Ryan McDowell. And today I'm gonna show you a little bit behind the scenes about how I built a bathroom in my kitchen in order to do a skit around how I came up with my username. People will understand that The Ryan is like kind of a joke, right? They won't just think that I'm some pretentious a-hole, right? This is the second project in a series I'm doing this year where I do a project each month and then do behind the scenes showing you how we kind of created that project. The idea for this video started with the concept I had around a skit coming up with the username. I actually had a really hard time coming up with the username to the point where it was humorous but very frustrating. So I asked a few of my coworkers, hey, I'm having trouble coming up with a username. Could you guys give me a hand? And one of my coworkers, who's hilarious, her name is Justine, piped in with like, well, you can't be A Ryan because then you'd be Aryan. When you spell out A Ryan, it spells out Aryan. Justine, that is hilarious. And since then, this is probably 6 years ago now, it's been on the back burner of like, man, that is a funny idea for a sketch. What better time than now to make it happen and make a sketch out of it? I thought it'd be good to set it in a bathroom. Because in a bathroom, you're forced to kind of look into a mirror and see your reflection. And when you're picking a username, you're really choosing how you want others to see you. So it is sort of this moment of personal introspection. And I thought a bathroom would work really well for that because you're forced to look at yourself. To pull this off, I knew that I was going to need to improve and really focus on two things. One, set design, and two, acting. Like most apartments, mine has a bathroom. It has two. I know, very fancy. This is the bathroom that I would be shooting in had I not built the set. It's kind of the reason I built the set. This is, it's a fine bathroom. It does all the things that I need it to do as a bathroom. It does not do all the things I need it to do as a film set. Does it make the bit better? Does it make the joke funnier? Does it make the sketch work? No, I could have made that right here. But I wanted to build a set instead of setting it in the bathrooms that we have for a couple of reasons. One of which is this is a rental, and while I love this place, we didn't design the bathrooms here, and I don't love necessarily the way that they look. And so if I wanted to have control about like the aesthetic and the look, I'd have to build something to shoot in. The other reason I wanted to build our own bathroom is that way I could create a frame for a mirror that we could shoot through instead of having an actual mirror. When you're shooting in a bathroom, shooting with mirrors in general, like hiding the camera is really tough, and there are some different ways to do it, but one of which the one we chose, was to not actually have a plane of glass with the reflection at all. It's just a hole with a facade, so it looks like I'm looking into the mirror. And what this allows us to do is to look directly into the camera and directly like I'm looking into my own reflection. So it gives it more of this like kind of POV-esque feeling, and that kind of continues on that theme of looking at yourself. Also, much more fun challenge. To build our set, we were gonna need some supplies, so we went out and got some foam board, some wood to support our foam board and make a frame. We got some wallpaper that's like a tropical print. We got some peel and stick tiles, a picture frame, which would become our like mirror or like whole frame for our mirror, and a couple of lights that looked like they'd fit well in a bathroom. We started by gluing strips of wood across the back of our foam board to give it a more sturdy frame. The glue might be toxic, so we'll either be dead or high by the end of this thing. Then we added wallpaper, cut a hole for where our mirror goes, and placed our peel and stick tile. We cut holes in the foam to run wires to our lights and secured both our lights and our picture frame using command strips. Testing out this command strip strength. This is one command strip. Oh, whoa. Dude, command strips are amazing. 3M, please sponsor us. So once all of our glue had dried, everything was firm, ready to go, we stood up our mirror, and we plugged it in, and it looked like a bathroom. It looked like an actual bathroom. All right. Yes! We had the facade, and then I stood, and then behind me there's a shower curtain that's just hanging on a photo backdrop. So it looks like I'm kind of standing in front of a tub or something. Now that I had our set ready to go, I needed to focus on the performance. Now, I'm not a trained actor, unless you count being Felix Unger in my high school's rendition of The Odd Couple, which I don't. So I reached out to an incredibly talented actor friend of mine, Destiny Ekwueme, to see if she could give me some tips in a very short amount of time and maybe take my acting from here to here. So thanks so much for hopping on. I can give you a bit of a rundown of kind of what I'm doing, trying to look at some of the skills that I would like to improve upon and some blind spots that I have as like a creator and director. And while I don't plan on being in the performing side of things, it is definitely a blind spot of mine where I don't have a background in performing. And so when I'm working with talent, sometimes I've noticed, I'm like, oh yeah, like I could use some help here. I could definitely benefit to better understand this space.
For me, it took me a while to realize like acting for me is kind of like therapy. It helps me like better understand who I am, my past, like what I want. It just that's kind of what it is for me. And so I try to approach it that way. And anything that I do, and that has really been helpful for me. So even if it's something really big and dramatic or like really short and like kind of like a skit, I really put myself into it. Because if you are looking at it from the outside, people can tell.
When I was looking in the mirror, kind of practicing facial expressions, I was like, I don't believe me.
Well, yeah, that's we can work on that. If you create a character that is yourself, you kind of go in it thinking like, oh, I know me. I don't really have to do much. But like I said, like this is a way to kind of get to know yourself better. So if you were a character, what would this character be? And what would this character's objective be?
Through this, I've been thinking of it as like, oh, how do I like make it funny, opposed to like, what does this character want? Like, what is the objective? And the more that I'm thinking about it is like, it's like, yeah, his objective is like he wants to make a username, but like, why is he like trying to be cool? Like, he wants to be cool, right? He wants to like, wants people to like, well, look at the username and be like, identify it with like who he is as a person, and think that they're fun or interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of our identity online, people, I find myself doing this, who get too wrapped up in that for sure. And so I see like that's much a step deeper than I had been thinking about.
Yeah. And also like what's more funnier, like a guy who's trying to be funny or a guy who is obsessing over a username and is like freaking out about it.
Yeah.
Right. So that's
way more fun.
More funnier than and that's kind of how you get those actors who are playing ridiculous and it's believable. The tip that I got from Destiny that really stuck with me the most is that if you're acting, say that you're an actor. I think I was like 16. Someone's like, what are you gonna do for college? And I was like, I'm gonna try and be an actor. And I was like, I barely knew this woman, and she was just like, honey, if you think you're an actor, you're an actor. Just say, I'm an actor. And I was like, okay, I'm an actor. When you're acting, you're an actor because you're doing the active acting, and that is more than enough. So it's so easy for us to feel like imposters as creatives. For the longest time, I didn't call myself a director or a filmmaker because I wasn't Spielberg. I wasn't Tarantino. I wasn't making these films that are like talked about in the media that people go to the movie theaters to watch. But they're just on different journeys as directors than I am. And that's something that took me a really long time to realize, and is something that I think is just good advice. Steven Spielberg has a very different path than I do. Hopefully my path gets a little more similar to Steven's, but it's okay that they're different. That doesn't make me not a director. And if you're creative, I'd say the same to you. If you're a painter, you're a painter. If you're an artist, you're an artist. If you're an actor, you're an actor. It doesn't matter if you are the most famous person doing it. Armed with this new acting advice, I began to practice. I'm not just a Ryan, I'm the Ryan. I'm not just a Ryan, but I'm the
Ryan. I'm not simply a Ryan, but I'm the Ryan. Once I was kind of happy with the script and how it sounded, I went ahead and recorded a voiceover for the inner monologue. I'm just another Ryan McDowell and the mass of Ryans. Oh, what about a Ryan McDowell? Then I took that recording and played it over and over while kind of practicing my physical facial reactions in the mirror, similar to how I would be doing on camera. So I had my set, I have my newfound acting chops, and with the continued support of my wife Jenna, we set up the facade and got all of our lights set. And the goal for the lighting setup was to make it look as if the lights behind the facade that were lighting me looked like I was standing in front of the mirror. Then it was time to record. And I played the audio track that I had edited over a speaker and then acted along to it. And I think I did it probably around a dozen times. It's been kind of a long shoot, but overall, I think everything went okay. And I'm really pumped on our set. I think it looks really fun, but I kind of like leaning through the mirror, kind of breaking the illusion. Right now it's a mirror. And now it's a set. In the sketch, I brush my teeth and put on toothpaste. And I don't know if you ever put on toothpaste 12 times in like an hour, it's painful. My mouth was jacked up. For scenes where actors have to film brushing their teeth, I'm assuming that they usually don't use normal toothpaste. Or if they do, it's like Tom's or something weak, like not industrial strength like Crest like I was using. The benefit of it being, one continuous take is that the editing process was pretty easy. I had everything kind of ready to go. I just picked my take and then tweaked the timings a little bit, added music, did some color, added some graphics, and then put it out in the world. I really couldn't have done it without the help of my wife. One, she's helped with the design. She has an eye for kind of interior design, and then also just all the putting together took a lot of effort. Also could not have done it without Destiny's help. So she's very funny, incredibly talented actress. I highly recommend following her on Instagram. I'll put her handle in the description. As of filming this, I'm at 96 subscribers on YouTube. So we are so close to 100. And after 100, next stop is 1,000. Because at 1,000, you get to make YouTube shorts and they give you some other creator tools and stuff. So we're working towards that. The how to pick your username video is out now. You can watch it here. And if you liked this video, you can subscribe to this channel here. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.